Hello friends, how are you? Today I bring you a video recorded like this. Or very quickly, because a note is appearing everywhere that apparently the Jim Hackman case has been resolved. You will know that we were all weak with this case. First, we released a video on the day that we then came to this channel and started talking beyond Jim Hackman's career. Of the mystery, of the strange death that this 96-year-old actor had, who many will remember for being Lex Luthor in Christopher Reeve's Superman movies. Others may have seen him in The Frame Connection, others may have seen him in The Unforgiven, or comedies like The Tenenbaums. More coming to the 2000s. In short, he made a lot of movies. This actor, who had retired in recent years, had been completely retired from Hollywood for about 20 years. He was not seen in public. In fact, he was very different from how we remembered him physically from his movies. He was 96 years old and had changed a lot physically. And he had not only changed, but he had isolated himself from the rest of the world. He lived in his mansion with his wife Betsy Arakawa, who was practically 30 years younger than him. And they had 3 dogs. And then what happened? On February 27th, it was reported that the actor had passed away. But he didn't just die, he died under strange circumstances, involving his wife, who had also died, and involving one of the dogs locked inside a piece of furniture in a bathroom. It was either a cage or a piece of furniture, or something inside a cage or furniture, according to some. That is, both things are completely compatible. And were pills found next to Betsy Arakawa's corpse? And he had seen him with his sunglasses on and the cane he used every day thrown next to him. That's what the people who had approached the mansion had found, who had arrived due to a call from one of the caretakers. A caretaker from the area where he lived. He was not a caretaker of the house, but of the area. And if you see the aerial photos of this mansion, you will notice that it was completely isolated. It was like living in the middle of the bush. So, it's understandable why they were so isolated, why it took so long for people to realize and find out that both of them were dead, and the dog too. This caretaker approaches the house and from the window manages to see that there is someone dead lying inside the house. He calls 911, asks for help, and 911 starts asking questions. And the caretaker says, "You won't know how to get to the house, I'll go to the entrance, you come and we'll receive you." And when they entered, they found this picture that raised a lot of doubts. Why? Because the bodies were already in a state of decomposition. Even Betsy Arakawa showed signs of mummification. And when they actually checked Jim Hackman's pacemaker, they noticed it had stopped several days before. So they started to wonder what had happened. A lot of theories started to be woven. One of the theories that was first woven, the first one woven by the children, we're about to discover the official account of what transpired, the version that was just released. Now, what does it have to do with her? It has to do with him. There is an official version, we're going to read it now. But what I wanted to remind you is that they had said his daughters, who were out of touch, that is, they didn't have a close relationship but were a bit distant. They had said that it had been due to carbon monoxide. You know, these houses, which are huge, have many pipes all over the place. And sometimes the gas that is used for cooking or heating can leak. And it has happened to thousands of people. While sleeping, the gas starts to leak and one doesn't realize it and keeps sleeping. I mean, no, this unfortunately happens more times than we expect, huh? That's why we have to be very careful with these kinds of issues with gas. We have to be very careful. Huh? Then, darker theories emerged. There's an actor we discussed in the prior video. In the second video that we released on this channel, the actor Randy Quaid appeared talking about how he had been sent to silence. 1. Some guys that he says are called Hollywood stars wacken, who basically dedicate themselves to silencing and killing different Hollywood actors or actresses who threaten to reveal dark secrets. People who perhaps were in the elite. They know there's a whole conspiracy theory regarding Hollywood, regarding children, regarding Pizzagate and all those kinds of issues. And there are several actors who have spoken out about these statements, about these theories. Randy Quaid was one of these actors who came out to speak, a rather peculiar actor. You'll probably remember him from Independence Day. He was the crazy one in Independence Day. The drunkard who claimed he had been abducted and everyone made fun of him. In the end, he sacrificed himself. He positions himself under the ship and blows it up as no one had any missiles left. Do you remember that character? The one from Independence Day? This guy in real life is a little crazy, very similar to the character. He's constantly discussing conspiracies and traveling from state to state in the United States with his wife. He says they're chasing him. He says both he and his wife know things. So they're trying to silence him, and that's why they're running from here to there. Another says they're actually con artists and they have a lot of debts, and that's why they're moving from here to there. He in particular went out to say on social media, on his Twitter account, that they had been silenced by the elites because Shin Hakugan knew things and threatened to tell these things, to talk about it. That's what we knew until now. But today, a note appeared in the Variety media that apparently gives us a new perspective. Let's read the note. Here's the media. It's Variety, and it says, Shin Hackman died of heart disease and Alzheimer's a week later. Week after Betsy Arakawa. It was determined that the cause of his wife's death was hantavirus, which is a disease that is transmitted by rodents. Let's see what he says. Jim Hackman probably died about a week after his wife Betsy Arakawa passed away due to the antivirus, a forensic doctor announced on Friday. This was announced today. It just came out a while ago. Hackman died of a cardiovascular disease, with Alzheimer's disease being a significant contributing factor, said Heather Jarrell, forensic doctor, head of the New Mexico Medical Investigators Office. Arakawa likely died a week earlier, on February 11th, due to the antivirus, a potentially deadly virus transmitted by mice. Both died of natural causes including heart diseases, strokes, cancer, respiratory failure, infections, and age-related complications. Hackman, 95 years old, and Arakawa, 65, were found dead on February 26th. Authorities said at the time that they did not suspect it was a crime. At a press conference on Friday, Santa Fe Sheriff Adam Mendoza said that surveillance cameras showed Arakawa running errands. On February 11th, he visited the Sprouts supermarket and a CVS pharmacy. He also emailed a masseuse that day. His car entered the gated community where the couple lived, around 5:15 post-meridian. No activity or communications were found. After that date, Hackman had advanced Alzheimer's disease, as well as serious heart disease and a history of heart attacks, Jarrett said. Authorities announced last week that the autopsy revealed that both bodies tested negative for carbon monoxide. The New Mexico Gas Company also thoroughly inspected the house and found no significant leaks. According to a sworn statement from the search warrant, Arakawa was found dead on the bathroom floor. Pills were scattered on the countertop, a recurring issue we had discussed before. Hackman was found in a bathroom next to the kitchen. Apparently both. Sorry, because here the note says, in a mud room, I imagine it must be a bathroom. Apparently, both had fallen to the floor. A dead dog was also found in a closet near Arakawa's body, while 2 other healthy dogs roamed the property. A maintenance worker called authorities after finding the door ajar, and officers entered and discovered the bodies. According to the sheriff, Hackman's pacemaker had last recorded an event on February 17th. Which suggests that he had died 9 days before the bodies were found. The deaths were considered suspicious enough to warrant a deeper investigation. The detectives recovered 2 cell phones, a monthly planner, and some medications during a search of the property. And then I talk a little about them, about who they were, right? So, what does this research leave us with? Basically, that she had antivirus, that she dies of antivirus much earlier than him. And he, because of his illness, because of the Alzheimer's he had. Or he doesn't notice, or he doesn't know how to react to the situation. So what he does is maybe he himself locks the dog inside the closet, maybe so it doesn't eat the pills or doesn't eat. Even the corpse of Betsy Arakawa, no, it's not known. The most likely thing is that he himself locked up the dog. He has Alzheimer's, so he can do nonsensical things like that. Then he moved on with his life. He forgot what was going on. Maybe he went to another part of the house and forgot what had happened. And he moved on. And maybe he stayed there for several days. And until at some point, either he sees the corpse or he remembers what happened and tries to go out and seek help. That's why he puts on his glasses, grabs the cane, and there, because of the nerves, because of everything that had happened, he ends up dying. And that is the official theory of the events. She dies first, he locks the dog inside this piece of furniture, and he goes on with his life. Because he has Alzheimer's, because he forgets what he's doing, and then a few days later he dies too. And several days later, a caregiver passes by the house and sees, does he see the bodies or see something strange there, halfway through a window, and alerts the authorities. That's the theory and that's the assertion we have about the death of Jim Hackman and Betsy Arakawa. At least that's how the authorities close the case. This will surely be the official closure of this case. I doubt new theories will arise. But now what I want to know is, what do you think? Do you stick with this official version, Surely many of you have relatives with Alzheimer's and so on, and you will know what this disease is like. That maybe things like this can happen. For me, this theory holds up if we base it on the fact that she is the one who dies first. Let's remember that she was the one who took care of him. Being much younger, she took care of him, who was in pretty bad shape. Or could it be the theories of Randy Quaid and the Hollywood conspiracy theorists? Did they have something to do with it here? That they came in and killed them and presented and staged it as something set up there, like they threw the pills, as if to make it talked about, as an accident, a tragedy they suffered and not suspected of a murder. What do you think about what happened? For now, I think we can close the case of Jim Hackman and move on with the programming of this channel. This week we practically dedicated everything to him. And I think we are here, we have come this far. We have been releasing other videos about the autopsies of Hollywood stars and so on. In case you didn't know, I'm going to leave them here below and stay tuned. Leave your comment below. I want to read your theories about it. Leave your like, and I don't think we'll make a new part. Honestly, I think we've come this far. This story may be included in a future video, but I think we're done for now. Thank you for joining this investigation. But I invite you to stay on the channel and explore other investigations we have done on Hollywood stars and others, because I know you like the theme. I highly recommend watching this video on autopsies, as it's extremely interesting and very relevant to our current discussion. I invite you to leave your also comments, whatever you want. I think there is nothing more to say. I'm Magnus Mephisto. See you in the next video. Goodbye.